Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Looking for these better days.
It is Thursday, July 23rd. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. The Red Sox winning streak snapped at record-tying number 15 because the doubleheader system won out. We'll talk Major League Baseball. Plus, we have to tease some football programming coming up on this episode of Better Day, presented by FanDuel. We start in Major League Baseball. 2 doubleheaders yesterday. The Yankees and the Pirates playing a double dip in the Bronx, and the Red Sox and Orioles from Fenway Park. And both doubleheaders went with the doubleheader sweep avoidance system. I've talked about this before, and while this season, now it's slightly profitable, but it's not as good as it has been in the past. If you go back to the start of the 2021 season, and all you did was blindly play the loser of Game 1 in Game 2 of a doubleheader, you are now up over 22 units. You are 54.5% straight up in those games, but up over 22 units as the Pirates took Game 1 from the Yankees in 10 innings, 5-3. The Red Sox took Game 1 from the Orioles, 6-3, as they won their 15th straight game. But then in the nightcaps, it was the Yankees 2-0 over the Pirates and the Orioles a 5-1 win over the Red Sox. So this season, looking at all the doubleheaders that we've had so far, the loser of game number 1 is now 8-6 in game number 2. So you're slightly profitable, up 0.78 units. You're up $78 on a $100 scale this season. But again, going back to the start of the 2021 season, just playing the loser of game 1 in every game 2 of a doubleheader, up over 22 units. And it went 2-0 yesterday with the Yankees and the Orioles winning game number 2. Speaking of the New York Yankees, it was the return of Max Fried, who was supposed to make another rehab start in the minors, but because of the doubleheader and the way that it, affected the Yankees starting rotation, they said, well, let's bring him to the Bronx and let him start game 2 of a doubleheader. And Max Fried looked like Max Fried. 5 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He didn't factor into the decision as the Yankees didn't score their runs until the bottom of the 7th inning. So Paul Blackburn actually picked up the win in that one. So the Yankees get a 2-0 win over the Pirates. They split the doubleheader and welcome back Max Fried. Now with the Red Sox winning streak getting snapped, we look at the standings in the American League East. Tampa, 2.5 games up on the Yankees for first place. The Red Sox now 7 games back of Tampa in the AL East standings, with the Red Sox still holding on to the 3rd wild card in the American League, 2 games up on the Seattle Mariners, and are 1 game behind the Guardians for that 2nd wild card. Elsewhere, the Dodgers beat the Phillies 9-5, but more importantly for LA, Shohei Ohtani threw a bullpen session prior to the game, as he has not started in quite a little bit of time, as he's had some starts that were skipped here, and he actually needed an injection in his knee a little bit ago. But Ohtani, who's still batted, even though he hasn't pitched because, it's the landing knee, which affects him every time that he pitches, he threw 30 pitches in a bullpen session, and Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, called it a, quote, big sign, and they appear to be ramping Ohtani back up so that he can pitch once again. I felt, and I still feel, that there's a possibility that he doesn't pitch again until maybe the postseason. Maybe they just get him ramped up for September, like he doesn't pitch all of August. We'll see. But right now up on FanDuel, Shohei Ohtani is minus 550 to win the National League MVP award. If he does not pitch for the remainder of the season, or doesn't pitch until maybe September, I don't know if he's a shoo-in to win the Most Valuable Player award. But if he returns to the mound sooner rather than later, continues to contribute like he is offensively, and doesn't skip a beat with his performance on the mound, then yes, obviously, Shohei Ohtani is the most valuable player in the National League. The guy's got a 1.79 ERA this season in 85 2/3 innings. Taking a look at the schedule today in Major League Baseball, we have an early start between the Padres and the Braves from Atlanta, where Chris Sale is on the bump for the Braves, up on FanDuel minus 235, total of 8.5. Sale is the third favorite in the National League to win the Cy Young Award behind Jacob Misiorowski and Christopher Sanchez, and actually is tied with Zach Wheeler for third at plus 750. Taj Bradley gets the bump for the Minnesota Twins against Gavin Williams and the Guardians. Cleveland minus 130. Tampa Bay Rays are at the Toronto Blue Jays. Shane Bieber starting once again for the Blue Jays, and Tampa a short minus 110 favorite on the road. Diamondbacks are at the Cardinals. Brandon Pfaadt for Arizona. McGreevy goes for St. Louis. Cards minus 126. And the Royals are at the Tigers. Detroit with Troy Melton on the bump, minus 205 favorites. So just a short slate here on your Thursday in Major League Baseball. I wanted to make a programming announcement starting on Monday. That's right, Monday, July 27th, here on the Better Day podcast, we are beginning our 32 in 32. That's right, 32 NFL teams in 32 shows. We have 32 shows starting on Monday, July 27th, leading up to Tuesday, September 8th, to get you ready for NFL kickoff on Wednesday, September 9th, the Super Bowl rematch between the Patriots and the Seahawks. So we will preview on each show, one team per show, 32 teams in 32 shows, and it all gets started next Monday. Now you're asking, Scott, who are you starting with on it next Monday? Good question. Next week, we start with the AFC North. That's right. Monday will feature the Baltimore Ravens. Tuesday, the Cincinnati Bengals. Wednesday, the Cleveland Browns. Thursday, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then on Friday, we will switch to the AFC South and preview the Houston Texans. So that is your schedule of previews coming up next week here on the Better Day podcast. So every single day, starting on Monday, July 27th, 32 teams in 32 shows. We kick things off with the Baltimore Ravens on Monday. We'll also sprinkle in some college football preview as we get closer and closer to week 0 of the college football season. And a reminder, on August 13th, Thursday, August 13th, is the first episode of the Better Day Football Show, live stream on the Better Day Twitter page and Better Day YouTube page. Myself, Joshua Nunn, and Steve Fezzik, each and every Thursday, live at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. So we are getting into football mode. Last night, I watched the first episode of the Circa Survivor documentary, The Quest for $18 million. It was a great, teaser to what's coming up this entire season. And between that and then the quarterback series on Netflix, which I'm getting into now, really getting excited for football season, which will be here before we know it. Don't forget to follow us across all your social media channels for more Major League Baseball conversation. You can check out Off the Board. Colby Marchio and Jake Hassan stream their podcast every Wednesday and Friday. They had an episode yesterday, which you can listen to on this very same Better Day podcast feed. And of course, their next episode is live streamed coming up on Friday. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.